From the First Chicago Center, this is Election 84, the Democratic Senatorial Debate, sponsored by WTTW, the Chicago Sun-Times, and the City Club of Chicago, with moderator Bruce DuMont.
Good evening and welcome to the first televised debate featuring the four major candidates who seek the Democratic nomination to the United States Senate from Illinois. On behalf of the debate sponsors, we thank you very much for joining us this evening. 1 month from today, Illinois primary voters will go to the polls to select a Republican and Democratic nominee to the U.S. Senate. Those men will then face each other in the November general election. Tonight, during the next hour, we'll meet the four Democrats in that field. I'll move on to Mr. Burris for his 90-second opening statement. Mr. Burris.
Thank you. During my many years as a public official, I have been an advocate of excellence, both as a personal ethic and as a responsibility of government. Time and again, I've expressed that belief that it is not enough to be good. It is not enough to be better. Only the best is good enough. Regrettably, the Reagan administration is not doing what is best for America, and Senator Percy is not doing what is best for Illinois. I seek the office of United States Senator to change this, and my campaign is based on two main themes. The first is my commitment to the forgotten people of our state, the elderly, the poor, the hungry, the working people who've lost their jobs, the small business people who can provide jobs if they get help. And it extends to young people who want to get an education so that they can have a chance at a decent life. And to all people who oppose war and fear consequences of an arms race and a potential nuclear holocaust. The second theme is fiscal responsibility. With the budget deficit pushing $200 billion and waste in government spending running out of control, now is the time for a senator with fiscal skills. Ladies and gentlemen, I have those skills, and I will use them to help set the financial house in order and get the economy moving again. Thank you.
We move on to the next question now by Leonida McLean of the Chicago Tribune, who will question Mr. Burris.
My question is for all four gentlemen, if you would. President Reagan's latest budget again cuts Medicaid and Medicare, calls for freezing payments to physicians. It also would tax some health insurance benefits of some employees. Is there a fair way for government to take care of the indigent and the elderly and at the same time hold down health costs, and how specifically? Mr. Burris.
Mr. McLean, I think that there is a way. Senator Kennedy, by the way, has just introduced legislation into the United States Senate, and most of that legislation, if enacted, will certainly help to go a long ways in solving this problem. What we must do is find a way to provide quality health care. It is a right for the people of this country. And we have the best health care in this nation. The only problem is that we find that nobody can afford it. So what we must do is to bring in hospital cost containment and then also limit that containment where it would not be transferred to third-party payers so that you as an individual would not have to absorb the cost. We also have to seek to consolidate the services that hospital or medical facilities provide. Everyone does not need a CAT scanner or a brain scanner. We must begin to go to facilities where there are specialists.
Mr. Rock, we ask that you respond to the same question, please.
Absolutely. It points deserves some help, and I would favor domestic content. As we have in Springfield, we had the favoring of purchasing steel made in this country.
Controller Burris?
Carol, the only country in this nation that does not have some kind of restrictions on its on the items that are exported is the United States of America. We have been the major supplier of goods throughout the world, and we've allowed these treaties and arrangements with our other countries to be established where they're now detrimental to our existence.
We have not engaged in restricted
Japan and
trade?
Germany are now our
Ever?
major competitors. They have content laws. There are limitations on how many automobiles we can export to Japan. There are no limitations on how many automobiles Japan can import to us. We must put on some type of what I call not free trade. Yes, I support free trade, but the trade has to be fair. And right now with the common market, take flour, for example.
May I move on to Mr. Seith?
Let me finish the point. The common market is subsidizing its manufacture of flour and thereby selling it cheaper to third world countries. We have to renegotiate those treaties so that our industries can go to work.
Mr. Seith?
Instead of us playing unfair, we should stop the others from playing unfair. We have the right, under the General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, to enforce anti-dumping laws. The fact is our American law puts the burden of proof on the victims and makes it very difficult to prove dumping. I've recommended for a long time that we amend our law to put the burden of proof on the dumpers and apply countervailing tariffs when they use the kind of subsidies that have been described here.
How workable would that be compared to imposing our own restrictions?
It's workable because, for example, the International Trade Commission, in narrower cases involving patent violations, has totally blocked the import of foreign goods when they are unfairly violating patents.
Do I understand you to say then that you would oppose domestic content legislation such as of the type that the others would endorse?
Because it slaps you back in the face. In the 1930s, they passed the Smoot-Hawley tariff laws. They thought that they were going to protect American business, and all they did was worsen the recession. It became a deep depression.
Mr. Seith, on that note, we are out of time for the question and answer portion of tonight's debate. On that note, we must now move on to the closing statements. Reversing the order of the opening comments, each statement is limited, as the openings were, to 90 seconds, and we begin with Mr. Simon.
The other day I visited Pacific Garden Mission, which operates a soup kitchen. Working there was Jim Drain, who asked if I could help him get a job. He told me that he's receiving room and board and $40 a month and has a wife and 2 children to support. I want the Jim Drains of Illinois to know that I'll be working for them in the Senate as I am in the House. The real division in our society is not between black and white, Anglo-Hispanic, rich and poor. It is between those who have hope and those who have given up. A keystone of my service will be to offer hope through jobs, through better education, through sensitivity. In the village of St. Elmo, Illinois, population 1,700, 7th graders published 3 New Year's wishes in the local newspaper. Almost all included as a wish that the world not destroy itself through nuclear warfare. I offer those 7th graders a record of fighting for limitation on the arms race. Nations arm themselves excessively because they fear each other. We fear each other in large measure because we do not understand each other. My voice has been for building bridges of understanding between nations. Those 7th graders and Jim Drain symbolize why I'm in this race. I'm not in it for the honor. I'm a candidate for the United States Senate because I can make a difference there, a difference for jobs, for education, for peace. But to make that difference, I need your help.
When I announced my candidacy for the United States Senate, I promised to take my campaign to every part of the state, to talk with the people of Illinois, to listen to the people of Illinois, and to learn from the people of Illinois. In the months that followed, I crisscrossed this state in many numbers of times, talking a lot, listening even more, and learning, always learning from the people of Illinois. And what I've learned is this. They're fed up with politicians who lie and government officials who waste their money. They're fed up with war talk and war preparation and billions of dollars spent on armaments that aren't needed for defense of our country. They're fed up with tax policies that help the rich and sock it to the poor, and with environmental policies that sock it to everyone. They're fed up with being fed up, and with the knowledge that there are 550,000 men and women in Illinois today who are out of work and can't find jobs. And above all, they're fed up with President Reagan and with Senator Percy, and they want to change. And that's why I am running for the United States Senate. I have been called the best comptroller Illinois has ever had. I want to be the best senator Illinois has ever had. And if the good Lord is willing, the best senator America has ever had, because there are too many wrongs that need to be set right. I want to get the job done. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.